over that concussion policy after you see that first hit, and he kind of, almost looks drunk on the field. And then obviously, what you saw his hands doing after getting hit again, obviously, signs that there was an issue. And I think it really just raises the concern, in preventing things like this from happening to our young athletes, Dr. DeLuca.
You talked about earlier about concussions not being preventable, and that's probably true. I mean, especially, these players are bigger and faster. I mean, it's basic physics, right? Force equals mass times acceleration. And they, you can develop the greatest helmet in the world, but that's not going to prevent a concussion, because a lot of concussions are caused by the head whipping back and forth and the brain moving inside the skull. So that's going to be hard to prevent without causing other injuries like neck injuries. But there's a lot of protocols that are in place both in the NFL and the NHL. And this has evolved over a great amount of time. And being old enough, I've been through that. We had one player one time, the Eagles were playing the Packers, and our quarterback went down with a concussion. So our athletic trainer and our internist were looking at him. At that same time, a linebacker went down, and he got up similar like Tua, got up, staggered, and fell. So I was the first out on the field. When the trainer and our internist came out, I said to them, exact words like you said, he was walking like a drunken sailor. But when they took him off, he cleared. He at that time, the tests were very rudimentary, and he cleared. And when he went back in, I turned to the internist and I said, "Are you really bringing him back in?" I said, "You better be able to defend this." And within a couple of minutes, the player said he had headaches, and the league reprimanded us about that. And then it started this whole big thing about the protocols. And, there's a lot of different tiers of when a person gets a concussion or an injury. You have the so-called eye in the sky, both in the NFL and NHL. You have an athletic trainer as well as a physician who look for these visible signs, such as slow to get up, dazed look, unsteady gait. There's secondary signs like clutching your head with both hands. And if they see that, then that player has to be evaluated. And there's different levels of evaluation. There's just questions, and then there's the examination, the neurocognitive, the vestibular-ocular examination that have to be performed. I think what we're going to see is a change in the protocol now. When you see a person who staggers like that,
Yeah.
I think they're going to say they're out. There's this, again, a saying, when in doubt, keep them out. But I think when you, obviously the only one that right now is in the books is that if they have loss of consciousness, they're out of the game. Yeah. But I think you're going to see this unsteady gait, because we've seen it a couple of times now. Sure. But, the other thing is players lie to you. Like this other game, the Tampa Bay game, the tight end, he came off the field and he said his shoulder was hurt. But I mean, clearly on video, you saw he had a dazed look to his face. But they tell you, "Oh no, I'm fine. I just had the wind knocked out of me." So again, I think players had to be educated, and they've done a better job in doing that.